Welcome back for another bonus episode of East Coast DNA, our On the Road YouTube channel series. Today we're actually at the rehearsal space for Electric Spoonful.
What's that?
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Thanks for having me over.
Oh yes. Thanks for coming.
So I mentioned Rudy, like we've had you on before. And actually, little credit for you, Rudy. Your episode when you came up to the apartment and we just did a little on the fly one was the first of our YouTube bonus episodes. So that's out of the bonus episodes I've tried, that's the format we kept.
Yeah,
so
nice.
I'll give you a little bit of credit there for
We
that
kept
one.
it. Was all my idea.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Yeah, Rudy's idea. Credit taken. So, Rudy, I know a little bit of your history, and we talked a little bit before about it, and you kind of came from a little bit of a folk background, but you're with what's predominantly, I would call, a metal band. I know you're in the loud category. You guys just won an award back at Music Week in November. So congratulations. I see that up on the shelf there behind me.
The busted up award on the counter.
Yeah, a little fractured. It might be some type of metaphor for the band or something. I don't know.
Sellotape.
Remains to be seen.
We could show it. Do you want to grab it and show? Let's put it up. Because since it's TJ's master work, yeah, it might fall apart pretty easy.
No,
Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
There we go. We broke it day one.
It's all TJ.
You obviously trust TJ with it. He has it back in his hand with a beer.
Hasn't had enough beers yet.
Smash number 2. So
It was a very honest accident. We were we were drinking, and it was 1 p.m. because we were celebrating. I woke up drunk. I didn't even go to the awards because I assumed we weren't going to win.
Yeah.
We took a little photo shoot with it, and we were climbing trees and doing all this ridiculous stuff, and I accidentally dropped it when I was in a tree.
that's
You dropped it when you were getting out of the tree. Like I don't think it even fell
on the
that
other
far.
end.
It fell maybe a foot, and it just kind of fell apart. At least it didn't actually obliterate. It's not
no, it just adds character.
we could put some epoxy to get it back together, but I think I like the tape, to be honest.
Well, there's also the option too. Like one of the main reasons I'm talking to you again is because you guys have new material coming, so you just have to win another one this year.
Oh, exactly. Let's see. We're nominated for an ECMA. Let's see what we
Yeah.
see how we could break that one.
So ECMAs are coming up very soon, and what are you guys nominated for there?
Same as that. Loud recording.
So there you go. And you got some good bands in that category this year too. It's a little more diverse because it's around all of the East Coast. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of good bands. A lot of good bands on. I can't remember a single one right now, but I remember seeing the lineup and being like, "Sweet, we're
I
a good
know
company."
from Nova Scotia we have Dally Van Gogh because I just did one of these with them as well.
Yeah,
And
I know they're on.
Red Usurper might have been in there. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And Truce from New Brunswick.
Okay.
That
sweet.
I don't know those fellas, but they've been on a couple of our playlists in the past
Nice.
for the episodes. So
Yeah, I'm excited to hear some of those bands.
We'll be playing with some of them at Gus's, and that'll be cool. It'll be a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, our home.
And so for our viewers, I'll get you guys to introduce yourselves as we go through here. But CJ, you're mentioning Gus's Pub too. I know your name more so than you. I see you around a little bit, but I hear your name tons.
I hope only good things.
You're not an unsung hero. People are singing your praises everywhere, but you seem to be someone that's very supportive of other bands that are starting off and coming up. And I've heard a lot of things similar to what people are telling me about what they like about the podcast. I hear your name pop up quite a bit as being a very supportive person in the industry. So
Well, yeah, I've been given so many opportunities, in all my work with all ages stuff. Like it all stems from I want to give back. I've been given so many shots from different people when I was growing up.
yeah,
Everybody else deserves the same, and I should give it to them.
a little pay it forward kind of thing.
Exactly. And we are blessed with an amazing music industry. There's so many crazy bands and people in this province. We're so lucky. It's a small but mighty community we have in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, for sure. So is there anything that you're working on outside of the band here that
Yeah. I work with the Pavilion Youth Association. I'm the president of that, and we've been the last few years we've been trying to do a rebuild because we lost our venue on the Commons. But we've had a bunch of awesome fundraiser shows. We're going to be working with the Lighthouse downtown to put on some cool stuff coming up soon. Like I'll
Awesome.
hitting y'all up about that before, and once we get that rolling. But yeah, I do that stuff and try to help bands out as much as I can, and work at Gus's and do it all the time. Music, woo.
awesome. And TJ, now do you work at Gus's also?
I also work at
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, and Rudy used to work there.
Yeah.
So now,
The only one.
and Gabe. Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna have to get on that. Send in a resume.
So yourself, I don't know this for sure. I did listen to the interview that you and Rudy had with Mike and Christian on their podcast, which very good podcast. I loved the podcast, and you guys did a great job on there. It was enjoyable to listen to. I got a little bit
Cool.
history that I didn't know. Like I said, I knew Rudy a little already. You did. I didn't know so much, so it was nice to hear a little history. But are you a little bit of the drive for some of the heavier sound with Rudy here now? Is that coming from you, or is that just me speculating off to the side?
I would say it's mostly Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse writes a lot of the heavier tunes. This is Jesse right here. But I do bring the guttural vocals.
Yeah.
And because I front my own metal band that's not released yet,
Okay.
which Jesse's also in.
Well, there
And
you go.
he's also in another band with me called Rutabaga. So
Rutabaga,
I pretty much
I've heard
can't get
of.
away from this guy.
Yeah, sounds like.
Yep. And he does smell like pee. So, yeah. So I would say, I mean, I'm metalhead through and through. That's my main thing for sure. So I'm happy that Jesse is bringing all this heavy material.
That's awesome. So you guys had recapped basically your history there as well, but you were not an original member of this band?
No, actually, I joined in 2018. When did you guys start? Around 2015? And they were very much like a blues rock kind of outfit. And then we just started getting sillier and sillier. I think as soon as I joined the band, I wrote Store Bought, and Rudy came up with the lyrics, and that was one of our first like really silly songs about a guy whose friends don't come over anymore because weed was legalized and he used to sell them pot.
Yeah.
And I think that's when it really started getting wacky for us.
It was the 2020 album Caravan Fire or something like that. Yeah. So that album I knew of, and then when I started doing the podcast and going to shows and everything, I did get a chance to see you guys, but I was like, this is not exactly what I was listening to before. Like, it's the same band, but I was a little confused. So
Yeah, that album was like, we were right on the cusp, I think, of really changing our sound and style. And like, that's right when, you know, TJ was in the band. Gabe just joined not too long before, I believe we put that out. It was right around the same time. So it was kind of like we put it out, end of an era, new era started with Gabe and TJ. And I guess TJ was in for a little bit before Gabe joined. Yeah. And then, I guess the shift, it wasn't even like a purposeful shift. We just kind of started writing other stuff. And then, you know, we even got some old sounding Spoonful on some new stuff too. So, yeah, just incorporating a bit of everything.
awesome.
Yeah, that metal definitely has still been coming through from me and Tej.
I wouldn't say we're genre specific.
Yeah.
We just
I
happen
agree.
to be heavy lately.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I mean, you have to
true.
line it somewhere when you're talking things like your awards. But
Oh, yes.
outside of that, that's a pitfall we find into with the podcast all the time, because we always said we wouldn't be genre specific, but every time we sit down with somebody, and anyone that's listening to this that I referred to as country, and you got like insulted by that, I'm sorry. It's not meant to be offensive. It's just a label that I use sometimes. But yeah, the metal one is another one that, loud is actually a better term because
Yeah.
it's hard to draw the line between hard rock, metal.
Yeah, like them simplifying all the loud stuff into one thing is actually super beneficial for us. 'Cause
Yeah.
we don't have to choose a box.
Yeah,
at all.
exactly.
So it works out. Maybe not for some other bands, but for us, it works really well.
Yeah, and for the fans, I'm sure it works well too because nobody really listens to one.
To the
song.
fans, Jerry, Tom, Samuel. Samuel, I know we're on the outs right now, but we'll get you in for free next time.
Awesome.
You're on the list.
It's awesome that you have a full list of all your fans right off the top of your head too.
They're all guest lists.
Yeah, awesome. So the metal sound is from the center of the couch here, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we all like metal. I know where even Rudy dabbles, not as much as as his folk stuff. But I suppose since I started writing more of the riffs and stuff, it was just naturally going to start leaning in that direction. But yeah, I mean, like TJ was saying, or CJ, whoever was saying, about being genre specific, we've just been having fun, just kind of doing whatever comes naturally. Whether it's CJ writing a song, or Rudy and Gabe, or me and TJ, like there's just we have all our hands are kind of in the pot there. So yeah, it's been cool just getting together, whether it's 2 of us, 3 of us, 4 of us, everybody.
And for writing style, then, I mean, you kind of insinuated a little bit there, but and where I was doing a little bit of research, it sounds like you guys all bring little different elements and then kind of jam it together. Like you find a way to make all those pieces fit to write a song, as opposed to somebody saying, "Hey, I wrote this song. Do you want to fill it in for me?" And then we'll
Yeah, a lot of the times, especially lately, somebody will like bring a song to the band, and I find I do a lot of producing in a way, and I'll come up with ways to tie certain parts together because my brain's a little crazy. I just we went to NSCC for the music arts program.
Okay.
So we got a little jazz under us.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like I like that we're able to just bring all of our stuff together in a pile and we can sort it out later.
I find you nailed it there. The with jazz, the connective tissue with a lot of Halifax area like HRM bands, where like there's definitely a Halifax sound for indie rock that goes back like even before Sloan and everything. That's where they came from anyway. But all the music students that are in bands, there is that connective jazz element behind everyone. So as I was saying, it sounds like when you guys are writing your songs, you're all bringing the different elements together and then jamming it together as a whole group rather than somebody bringing it to the band and asking everyone to fill in.
Yeah, a lot of the times somebody will start a song or like have pieces of something to put in a song, and we'll just get together and jam it and produce it all together. And with a little bit of our jazz background, we tend to get pretty experimental and weird. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So do you guys have contacts from back when you were taking those courses that you still work with today, like other bands and stuff, or maybe behind the scenes stuff? Or
Yeah, for sure. On our upcoming record, we contacted 2 of our old friends from the NSCC Music Arts program. Liam Ring, great sax player in plenty of bands. You've seen him everywhere. And Liam Britton. We love our Liams.
yeah, sounds like
And yeah. He is a music teacher out on the South Shore, and he plays everything basically. So he's playing some banjo and mandolin
awesome.
on one of our new tracks. So
You guys are
try to
really
figure out
excited
what
to
this is
hear
going to
this.
sound like, because we're going to have saxophone, banjo, mandolin, and we're a metal band.
Yeah, that sounds.
You won't know. You can't know till you hear it.
So that leans into the not genre specific. You're bringing in a little bit of different instrumentation there too. And
It even sounds a little weird calling us a metal band. Like I don't know. Like we've got metal riffs in there, but I don't know. I feel like we're more like, if you have to slap a label on it, like alt rock, something like that, like or experimental rock or something like that. Even more like we got metal elements, but like you couldn't just throw us on any metal show.
But in my record store days, which are quite a while ago now, I mean, anyone that's watched the episodes know it's been like 20 years. But back then you would have fell in an alternative category, not the metal section, because the metal section would have been like
Definitely.
Metallica and Guns N' Roses.
Exactly.
And
We can bring those kind of like riffs and aesthetics to the table and do. But yeah, like I think when someone just says like they're a metal band, I think that they get an idea that it's not quite us, because we got some songs that are not even touching metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
like we shared a bill with. Well, we opened the show for Cancer Bats and Comeback Kid
Yep.
in Halifax, and it was us, and then it was Thousand Knives, which are like
Yeah,
they're like one of the
heavy.
best hardcore bands
Yeah.
in the city, and then Botfly, another one of the
Yeah.
best hardcore bands in the city, and then Comeback Kid and Cancer Bats. Like it's so we picked our heaviest material
Mhm.
and we just rolled with it, and I think we fit in all right.
Yeah.
I know people
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Oh,
we
yeah, I
did-
was at that show. It was a good show.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we did that Idols cover, and a lot of people really enjoyed that.
And I've seen you 2 or 3 times now, so was Owen Williams on stage with you guys for Drip?
Yeah.
Every time that he does it, every
Yeah.
time that he's there, he'll do it with us.
Awesome. So the connection there, is that also back for music program stuff, or is it just...
Yeah, they went to school with Owen, and I managed his band Kids Losing Sleep for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm homies with all those boys, so yeah,
Cool.
like Owen's a really good friend, and yeah, we were super stoked to have him on that. It's great when he jumps up. It's so
Oh, yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
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 We have a really cool, tight-knit like kind of friend group.
Yeah.
Of like just a bunch of people in bands and people not in bands, and it's really funny. Like meeting somebody and then realizing they know that person and is like,
Oh, yeah.
I smoke weed with that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
all the time. Yeah. Well, it's just like I think NSCC was just such a good starting point for all of us, especially like starting a band there, because we all met there, or at least got closer, I suppose, in our case where we knew each other but got close. So yeah, like our circle just kind of just kept extending over the years, and we here we are now with awesome friends, and you know playing with them all, and yeah, couldn't ask for a better crew.
and now Rudy for lyrics, and we were talking a lot about the music here. Now for you with lyrics, I know that on your solo stuff, because I've seen you play a couple times acoustically anyway, you wrote some songs with Connor Booth
Yeah.
of Good You're Good and 8 Jackson.
I do him a favor and say he wrote on the song.
Yeah.
But really, you know, when you look at the SoCan, yeah, he wrote on the songs, but truthfully,
Well,
no,
this
I'm
is
joking. He wrote on the song.
this is where I'm getting at with that too, is that those songs usually have like some sillier connotations to them or some lyrical content that's a little lighthearted, and it seems like the newer Electric Spoonful stuff is kind of following suit lyrically.
Yeah, but the weird thing about that is I would say that's like when I write solo stuff, it's very hard for me to not write a super depressing song.
Yeah.
And the only time I really don't is with Connor. So like I would say that's more Connor is bringing the not the depressing, just like
Putting a little
Yeah.
light in your darkness.
he puts a little light in there. You know, he likes that kind of like the quirkier stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I do too. I wish I could write like that all the time, but
And I probably should mention too that you were an integral part of their pilot for the 8 Jacks.
yeah, that's all
pilot,
me
that's
too.
okay
You know,
too.
I pretty much am the arbiter for all artistic things, and out of all my friends, none of them have the immense talent that I have to carry around.
Well, that's what you were saying
So,
before we
no.
started recording. Was that you're kind of holding the industry up by yourself.
No, I'm joking. No, I was lucky enough to be asked to be on that. Well, actually, I was at a party and they said, I just mentioned to them, this was like years ago. This was probably like 3 years ago, and I said they were talking about that they wanted to start a show, and I was like, oh, if you do a show, I would love to do something like just background or anything. And they were like, oh. Like Jax was like, wouldn't he be awesome to play Dryden? And AT was like, yeah, and we're all drunk, right? So I'm like, oh yeah, and we're like, that's about it. That was all we talked about. Like 2 years later, they put a message out on Instagram, being like, who wants to be in the show as background? And I messaged them being like, oh yeah, I'd love to do it. And they're like, dude, we wrote a whole character for you. What are you talking about? You already agreed to it. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't think you would remember that. I thought we were just drunk and you guys were just being drunk and saying drunk stuff.
Have you since that's been put out there for people to see? Have you had any feedback from Dryden himself, like the real Dryden?
I think the only.
I know he's taking a back seat to some industry stuff.
I haven't got it directly from him, I don't think, but he did say in his because he had to leave.
Yeah,
he can't manage anymore because he's going through some health issues, and so in that in the post he made about it, he said that I do him well, I guess.
There you go.
So, but other than that, I hear from like Ate and Jax, they're always like, "Oh yeah, he likes it. He likes it."
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
That's good to know. We'll have to keep an eye out for that stuff in the future.
I definitely make him look like way more of a piece of shit. He's not a piece of shit at all.
Yeah, I've met him a few times. He's a great guy. Great guy. So, for Electric Spoonful, the purpose of being here today, you guys, as I mentioned, have new material coming. You have a show coming up on St. Patrick's Day with quite the stacked lineup. I imagine those are all friends of yours as well, but Good Dear Good's on that lineup, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a Connor connection.
Actually, I've known Timothy Hatcher, the lead singer,
Oh, really?
since we were 8 months old.
Oh, there you go.
We both grew up in the Highlands of Cape Breton,
Yeah.
and we were like best friends growing up.
Awesome. So
Really
there's
random connection.
multiple connections between
Yeah,
Good Dear
yeah.
Good and this band.
Yeah,
That's a
all
band that I
goodness.
wouldn't have put on the same lineup as you guys. They'd be on the same playlist in my car or something, but I
Well, it's
wouldn't
all
expect to
connected,
see you
yeah.
together.
Like Connor plays with AT and Jax and Good Dear Good.
Yeah.
And is also my little sister's drum teacher. Like,
Oh, there you go.
There's layers of connection to all of this music scene.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
And the other bands on the bill that night, Skunk Motel and...
Oh, yeah, well, both Jesse and I used to be in Sarah Ellen Morrison.
There you go. And
The old band that
Neil
Sarah
used to play.
Neil used to play in that too, yeah.
Who was
well,
also
Neil
18
and Jesse
Jackson.
grew up together as well.
Well, there you go.
It's all connected.
Yeah, and then the Hitman Boys went to school with you and Rudy, right?
No.
Oh, they were a year after?
Seeing that band.
Cool.
When I was a kid growing up, there was no shows. I'm from the Valley, so there'd be
Okay.
like one show every 2 months. But it would usually be metal because those are the people that have the initiative to put on shows and go on tour. And some of the first shows that I saw were Hitman and Blackmore. So like they're some of my first favorite bands ever. And now I'm homies with all of them. We're playing shows together.
Yeah,
it's
sweet.
Great. One of my best friends, Bryson, joined the band a few years ago too. The boy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a small world in the music industry here.
And with All Right Already, I don't even know what AJ plays in that band because he plays like so many different instruments. He plays bass in that one. He recorded our whole record.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and half of Too Poor for a 2-4.
Awesome.
And they are also one of the first bands that I remember seeing when I was like probably 16 or so in Cape Breton, because we've got Sean and Dylan are also some Cape Breton boys. So yeah, it all goes back. It's just all intertwined with a bunch of friends, and we also love a good mixed bag. I have a bunch of different.
So you
genres.
guys are almost a Cape Breton band.
Almost. We've
Almost.
got 3 of 5. Yeah, 3
Yeah.
of 5 of us are Capers, and then the other 2 are the old Valley boys. Yeah, you're official. That's true.
And we're just missing one member from the band today.
Yeah, Gabe, he's got more important things to do with his girlfriend.
Actually, he
I love
wrote,
Lauren as
he
well.
wrote me a
Lauren's great.
message. He said he had an announcement to make that you guys aren't privy to yet. He wanted to do a separate solo interview, so I'll let you guys know.
Is that what it is? He's about to announce his departure, and he's going to let all the filth loose. No, what I'm saying, back to the friends and everything type thing, I just reminded me you talk about Neil.
Yeah.
Il famoso Miali, that's what we're calling him now because he just found out he's Italian, and I'm ethnically Italian. And he did DNA test, and he got like 0.8% Italian.
Okay.
And he came over yesterday. He's like, dude, you're not gonna believe this.
Awesome.
And that's his new name, Il famoso Miali, means the famous hog. But other than that, no. When they did your interview,
Yeah.
AT and Jax, and he was on it. And there's a part where your daughter always asks what your favorite animal is.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask it, they answer, and then they go to Neil, and they're like, so what's your favorite animal, Neil? And he's like, I think a squirrel. And it was just like, and you notice how they just started like
Yeah,
dying
everyone
laughing.
lost it.
That is an inside joke of me and Connor. I think our second song we ever wrote together. It's a song called "The Ballad of Neil Lemoyne," and it's a folk song about Neil going on Tinder and matching. It's like you got to listen to the song because you don't know, but at the end of the song, you find out that it's a girl, it's a squirrel
Instead of a girl.
that he was going on. He fell in love with a squirrel.
Awesome.
So that's why if you go back and watch that interview, they
Yeah.
start dying laughing, but then they never explain it. Because when I saw that interview, oh my god, when he said that, when he was like, I think a squirrel, I was like dying laughing for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was. That was a pretty good day. They really enjoyed themselves the entire time. But yeah, I couldn't quite tell at the time. I found out the background of it a little bit later. But yeah, that's pretty good constant integration within the scene. So on the 17th, it's a show with a bunch of your friends and a big St. Patrick's Day thing. But when's the album coming? That's not a Rudy question.
So we don't have a date
Mm-hmm.
picked yet. The album's finished. We just need to find a date to put it out. So we're thinking. I don't want to say a rough time because it always ends up being pushed at a different time.
Yeah.
But we're thinking probably June, first week of June, or shortly afterwards. It might align with Spoonapalooza, which is our festival that we put on that we're making a yearly thing. So that is June 2nd and 3rd. If we're lucky, maybe we can plan it around there, but we'll see.
And is that
We'll see what's up.
June 2nd and 3rd? Is it at Gus's Pub?
It will be
yeah.
at Gus's. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a 2-day event. Yeah. Yeah, can't abandon our home turf there. So yeah, that's going to be announced probably in the next month or so.
Awesome.
Very excited about that.
Probably do a single poo.
Yeah, so I was wondering if there'd be a single.
We do
in
have
the meantime.
a single that we're going to be announcing soon.
Oh, that's what I screwed up on Mike and Kristen's podcast, and TJ was like, "I don't think that's right." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure it is, but it was not right, I guess." But that's what happens when you go on Facebook and there's 500 unread messages and I'm not reading through all of them. So. But so that was the original plan, but we've changed it. We are going to be releasing a single soon, though, for sure.
So where should people be keeping an eye out for you guys online? Anyone watching this on YouTube today that wants to be on top of it when the single comes out, the album comes out?
All the brain-sucking social medias,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, not Twitter. Why aren't we on Twitter? I think 2 social medias are overwhelming enough for us.
I mean, honestly, we like more. I think we probably have about the same amount of followers on Facebook as we do on Instagram, but Facebook kind of just sucks nowadays. There's like, it's just like, I think most bands would notice this that are at our level. It's just hard to get any traction on Facebook because it's just built. The algorithm's built around like, oh, you need traction to get more traction.
Yeah.
I know everything's like that, but it's a little worse for Facebook. I find it's just like you post something on Instagram and it'll get like 200-300 likes, and then the same post on Facebook will get like 8.
Yeah, the Facebook is a little trickier for. I don't know what it is, but it is a little trickier to get traction there.
Older audience than Instagram. On Facebook, I find.
Just generation.
It's an older audience, he said.
Yeah.
But also Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple Music, Bandcamp, everywhere you stream music.
And you keep Bandcamp up to date then. I always like to push Bandcamp because I know revenue-wise, like you guys would get the most out of it. But in some cases, some bands that are winning big-ass awards are like, oh, I'm working with somebody now and I don't really touch that. So, but you guys are keeping
we
that up
like
to date
it.
for now.
Yeah, like when we grew up, you downloaded your music.
Yeah.
You could make burnt CDs and put it on your MP3 player and stuff. So I always like having physical files. So I'd like to get our fans to get those too. Especially like on Bandcamp, you can get it as high quality as you want. You can get
Yeah,
FLAC
it's an
files,
awesome feature.
So you can get exactly what the artist intended, like full picture. So I really like that about Bandcamp.
You can also uTorrent us or LimeWire
Yeah.
or
There's also we're terrible salesmen, so I'll say it here now. We are gonna have we have merch. We just never forget. We always forget to plug it at our own shows. But if you want some merch, come March 17th and buy some merch. And then also we're gonna this will be the first EP that we're going to put on vinyl. Don't know how long it's going to take because I think there's a vinyl shortage or something like that. I think the waiting line for vinyl right now is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
So
it's quite the backlog.
it might be a while, but we are planning on getting it on vinyl. So actually, it's going to be we're going to put 2-4 for a 2-4 in this EP. It's going to mash up as an album, basically.
It's a greatest hits. Yeah. It's a greatest hits record.
Do you guys have physical media out publicly now for your previous releases?
We have a cassette of our demo from like 2015.
Yeah, and we have we have this weird singles like promo CD that we put out.
Oh, yeah.
That we used to send out to a bunch of radio stations. But that's like all the old shit and then a couple live tracks from that radio one initially. But yeah, nothing new yet. I would like to get like a couple pressed with the album as well just to have. But yeah, I think once we get this EP together, we'll double it with its sister EP, the last one, and a couple more tracks, and then we'll put that on CD and vinyl.
Awesome.
And again, if you go to LimeWire or YouTube, you can burn your own CD, and then you'll have some physical,
All joking aside, the hardest part there is finding the blank CD.
Yeah, exactly. And if you download that LimeWire track, you get a bunch of pictures of TJ's butt, too.
Yeah.
And an audio that goes, "My fellow Americans, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did, however, go to ifreeclubs.com. That's www.fr."
Yeah, we're keeping 2005 alive here.
Yeah. Awesome.
Killing our computers with debilitating diseases picked up by LimeWire.
So you have the album coming out potentially this summer. There's the show coming up on St. Patrick's Day, and then you have your Spoonapalooza. Is this your second? Okay.
This is the second year, yes. This one though. Last year was a 1-day event. This is 2 days, and I think we do have a lot of the lineup already confirmed, and we can't wait to release that because it's friggin' awesome.
Yeah, the last one was called the Big Dirty Spoonapalooza.
Yeah, okay.
And this one's the Big Dirty Spoonapalooza 2 Electric Boogalooza.
Awesome.
Double the boozer.
So next year will be triple and an even longer name.
Yeah, we're just
for it?
gonna keep going until like 3-day, 4-day. Eventually, it'll be a month.
Someday it'll be a month-long music festival. We play every night.
Awesome.
Everyone wants to see that.
Oh yeah.
So if people are following your social medias, they'll get the latest, up-to-date, the shows we know, but the actual material that's coming out, they should follow you on the socials.
Stuff. A lot of other useless shit.
And bags of cash when you go watch a Electric Spoonful show, so you can pick up some T-shirts. What other kind of merch do you have? Is it mostly T-shirts?
Yeah. Do we have hats left? Yeah.
There you go.
$5 hugs.
$5 hugs.
I give really good hugs.
There you go. You heard it here.
100%.
Is that just TJ or is
Just
it
him.
Just TJ hugs for $5?
I'll undercut for $4.50.
$4.50. Love it. Is there anything else you want to say to the viewers before we wrap up here today?
Do you want to go down the line here, everyone?
I'll speak on behalf of Gabe Bauer. I don't know what he'd say, so I'm not going to do that. He says it was a oogada boogada. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, and then on my behalf, just come to St. Patrick's Day. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna get really drunk.
Where is it?
Seahorse Tavern on Gottingen Street in the city of Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yeah, I back that. Stay in touch with the socials. We'll be releasing some new info on the single and the album whenever we fucking figure out a date for that. We will let our people talk to your people, and then you will find out when we find out.
They said all the important stuff, so if you're still listening, I appreciate you just watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
You must be bored.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. This has been great.
Great. Thanks, guys. And be sure to send me a note when you have new stuff out, and we'll mention it in our socials as well.
We'll do it all again.
All right. Thank you very much.
Got a friend on the corner of my street. Hit him up for a good time. brings a lot of heat. Now I got something for you if you don't wanna sleep, but you know I gotta warn you, might get in too deep. Got enough just to feel fine, little flavor for the week. Got my mind working overtime as that sunrise creeps. Wanna go out in style, something simple, something sleek. Got a bill and a line for a steady heartbeat. That's rip, no lips, tight grip, but you know I gotta warn you, might get in too deep. Might get in too deep, 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 might get in too. Roast on our classes, take me to town. Take on our